Hello, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of Masters of CX, brought to you by ET Brand Equity. Today, joining us is Sandeep Varaganti, CEO, JioMart, Reliance Retail. Hi, Sandeep. Welcome. Today, Sandeep will share how JioMart is providing a great customer experience to their customers. Sandeep is responsible for building one of the most trusted online marketplaces, serving lakhs of customers daily and millions every month to online shoppers across India. So, Sandeep, let's get down to the questions. Really interested to know that the e-commerce category is very interesting, very competitive. You are in the grocery segment. You have expanded to a whole lot of other categories as well. How do you differentiate your value proposition and make JioMart the preferred shopping destination for your customers?
Sure. It's true that we started our journey being a grocery destination, right? That's how we started. Uh, I'll just share a quick 30 seconds on the way JioMart was started. During lockdown, we had access to a lot of supply, and the markets were shut, right? And this was during the first and second waves of COVID. The offline markets were shut. Customers were struggling to get access to products, right? From fresh fruits and vegetables to staples. It was getting tough for them. The only places they could order were online, and the existing online players were not able to cater to the entire demand. That's when Reliance Retail as an organization, the leadership decided that, hey, we have access to supplies. While we can't do business offline, how can we get these goods to the customers? So that's how JioMart was formed. It was a 3 week effort. The team put together a portal, they created an app and launched it. That's how it started. So that's how it started as grocery. We continue to believe that grocery continues to be the mainstay consumption basket for consumers. So we continue to play very heavily on that category. At the same time, we know that consumers who are looking to purchase online, their shopping journey does not stop at essentials, does not stop at daily essentials, right? They do want to purchase fashion, purchase accessories, electronics, so on and so forth. So we started adding all of it. The question about how does it differentiate us? The biggest differentiation factor for Reliance Retail as a whole and JioMart is that Reliance Retail has been in existence as a retail giant for over a decade now. Most of the formats over a decade, few formats for almost 15 years now, a decade and a half. So we have access to the products. We have genuine suppliers. We've got solid negotiation established. We've got high quality supply chain established. We are going to utilize that and take the products to the consumers also online. So if there is any company which can offer a 100% omni-channel experience to a consumer, it is Reliance Retail and it is JioMart. So our biggest differentiator as JioMart will be the omni-channel strategy. I don't think any other player can do a better job on that than us. So that's going to be the biggest differentiator. Again, when I say omni-channel, right, I'm not talking about just being present across all channels. When I say omni-channel strategy, I talk about a pure play, omni-channel play, which means you as a customer get the same exact experience, whether you buy the product online or offline. And you can use these channels interchangeably. You walk into a store, you like a product, but you're in two minds, you're not able to make a purchase decision, you go back home, purchase it online. The same product that you saw offline gets delivered. Or you buy it, you browse online, you find something that you like, but you're not able to decide because of the size, or you want to touch and feel the product, then you walk into the nearest store, be it a grocery store, be it our trend store, be it our Reliance digital store. You walk in, you get to see the product, and then you make a decision there. Then you walk out with the product. So that's the kind of experience that we are trying to evolve into as JioMart.
Thank you, Sandeep. You shared it very well that you got the ecosystem right first, and that enabled you to cater to
Right.
customers. I wanted to understand you operate in a marketplace model. So your customers are not just the consumer end, but there's also the merchants and the
Yes.
businesses, right? The SMEs on your platform who are catering to this. Wanted to know if you could share a little bit of how you're enabling that side, the seller side of the spectrum, to have a better experience, in terms of onboarding, in terms of getting their products to the end last consumer.
Absolutely. I think the way we are building JioMart is to establish a marketplace. One of the reasons, right, when I've been an e-commerce veteran now, almost 15 years in the same line, and I've been passionate about SMBs. So one of the reasons I joined Reliance Retail when I did that 3 years ago was the opportunity that it offered to also influence large part of the SMB community across India. Right. So if you notice how the Indian economy is developed, right, so far, there's about 70, 80 small and medium businesses. They contribute almost 30% of the country's GDP, right? It's significant chunk contributed by small and medium businesses. And it's not just the GDP. If you look at employment opportunities, while there are a lot of large companies, including us, right, Reliance Industries Limited, one of the largest employers in the country, while there are a lot of large companies offering opportunities, the small and medium business community is the leading job opportunity provider. I will explain why I say that, right? Imagine there is about 80 million SMBs. Every SMB is run by an individual, right, or a group, but doesn't stop there. Look at a roadside kirana store. Even if you talk about a puncture shop, there is always a helper. There's a small chotu who is associated with that setup, right? Even if you say an average 2 or 3 jobs, right? We are here talking about close to 250 million jobs that are enabled by the small and medium business community. So we as Reliance believe that this is a thriving ecosystem, it's a thriving community, and it's indispensable to the country's growth, right? The ambitions that the government has set for ourselves, right? 5 trillion, 10 trillion. For that to be achieved, we need two things. We need more and more contributors to the GDP, and we need more and more employment generators. So this SMB community becomes important. So we are very passionate about that. Coming to JioMart, we started the journey. We launched a marketplace 2 years ago, and we've been enabling SMBs. We curate and enable SMBs. We almost have around 60,000 SMBs launched. A lot of them are crorepati sellers, and we launched these small and medium businesses across the spectrum, from grocery to electronics to fashion to general merchandise like home, kitchen, furniture. We've launched across the spectrum, and we've got a thriving marketplace running, which contributes to close to 20% of the overall JioMart's uh, top line, JioMart's revenue and JioMart's orders, right? Which is significant considering we've just started a couple of years ago, right? So that's how it's happening. More importantly, one of the things that we are very proud of is that we've enabled a lot of artisans, right? These are individuals who are weavers, who make handmade products, right? So art, handicrafts, and handlooms. We've onboarded. We actually enabled more than 20,000 weavers, right? So how this works is there is a master weaver. The weaver has the looms. The person brings these skilled people into his setup, and they manufacture. Like if you say each person has about 10 looms, so each weaver that we onboard, we're enabling 10 more weavers. Like that's how it works. So more than 20,000 weavers have been onboarded. I think we've given access to the consumers. They get to see these products and buy. There's about, if I remember well, we've onboarded close to 2.3 lakh unique products. And these 2.3 lakh products are the spread representing 90 plus crafts, right? So Pochampalli is a craft, Ikkat is a craft, Bidri is a craft, right? Like that, we've onboarded about 90 plus crafts and from across 23 states and clusters, right? And one of the things that we are proud of is we've also enabled state government emporiums. These state government emporiums in turn provide 200, 300 artisans opportunities. So we onboarded 8 state governments, two are almost on the way. So by next end of this quarter, will be around 10 state emporiums onboarded. We plan to onboard every state emporium that is active in the country, right? So Just to wind this up, we are doing three things across this small and medium business community. One is all the retailers, manufacturers, resellers, brand owners. We enable and promote them on JioMart. We specifically work on the artisan community. Like I said, 2 plus lakh products across 90 crafts in 23 states. That's what we are proud of. And apart from that, we also have a very sharp focus on women entrepreneurs. That's a separate set of entrepreneurs that we encourage and we onboard them. One of the examples that I am very proud of is we've onboarded 100 plus women entrepreneurs thriving. One of it is Mrs. Amrita Sabat. She's from Orissa. There is a handloom form called Sambalpuri Saris. She's thriving. She does it on Amazon, Flipkart, and also on JioMart now. And one of her biggest channels is JioMart, right? So we've also onboarded a lot of other self-help groups, social organizations, so on and so forth, to encourage and make the woman entrepreneur community thrive on JioMart. So these are the three distinct set of things that we do in that area.
That's fantastic. So not only does JioMart become a new revenue channel, but it also becomes the largest contributor to their overall business.
Yeah, to a
Not
few
bad.
of them, it is the largest.
No, I just got it. That's fantastic. JioMart is one of the few platforms working at a massive scale, in India. When you reach this kind of scale, even a few percentage points of, a lack of disruption in the supply chain or product, the product quality being less than excellent can create inconvenience for lakhs of customers, right? How do you ensure as you are scaling that the product supply chain and the end quality customer experience remains the same, you know?
A great question. So one of the things that works to our advantage, right? I think you're very right about how do we ensure there is seamless supply chain experience transferred to customers, right? Based on every category, there is a different angle to it. When you're looking at a fashion kind of a category, then you're talking about am I getting what I see on the website? If I'm promised a silk scarf, am I getting a silk scarf or am I getting something else under the garb of a silk scarf, right? Silk scarf. So that's how fashion is perceived. And when it comes to grocery, then it's the regular stuff. Am I getting quality stuff? Quality stuff is different across two things. If they are mostly grocery are perishable, right? Perishable with long shelf life, perishable with short shelf life. If it's a long shelf life, how much of expiry time do I have before I can consume it, right? If I give a person, for example, a grocery item that is going to expire in the next 1 week, right? Uh, the product has a 6 month shelf life, but I deliver it with a 1 week left, then that is not right to the customer, right? The customer gets ticked off. Similarly, how fresh is my fresh products, right? If I'm sending the fruits or vegetables, how do I receive it? How is the packaging? What is the quality of my fresh produce, right? These are things for grocery. So on and so forth. Every category has its own nuances. Thankfully, Varun, what has happened as Reliance Retail, what we've managed to do over the past decade is establish superb controls when we established and did business offline. Now, what happens is if I'm able to integrate the technology and the existing processes well and integrate into JioMart, then half my job is done. That's exactly what we started doing. We are not building the entire engine again for our online business, right? I'm not setting up the processes. I'm not installing a new supply chain. We have, I'll take an example of grocery, right? We've got about, overall as Reliance Retail, we have about 17,000 stores, right? Half of which are grocery across a couple of formats like Smart Bazaar, Smart Point, etc. Now, what happens is there is already an established supply chain. My fresh produce is procured from XYZ, arrives at 6 a.m. every day to my store, and made available to the customers as soon as the shop opens at 9 a.m. Right? There's an engine running. I am plugging the same engine to JioMart. So the same quality controls, the same high quality sourcing, and the same audit mechanisms are now taken care of. The biggest difference, the biggest change we had to make when trying to send these fresh produce to consumers is the packaging. right? So we have a couple of offers. There is the offerings. There are regular fresh produce and there are premium fruits, right? If you now go and buy premium fruits in JioMart, you get a exquisite packaging, right? You get a box. It's beautiful. There are sockets and you get six what do you call pears neatly arranged in that box, which takes care of the quality, which takes care of the freshness of the produce, etc. And for the rest of the fresh produce, which is regular, we are ensuring a three-point control. The person who's picking it up from the store or picking up from the aisle of the warehouse, there's a checkpoint happening there. Then there's a checkpoint at the delivery experience, and then we have a post-delivery audit, meaning we take a sample of consumers, we take a sample of customers, we call them and check, hey, you ordered thrice over the last 3 months. Thanks for ordering this. How was your experience with JioMart? You ordered vegetables, were they fresh? Did you like the packaging? We collect feedback and we try and fix it. And we fix it at a store level. We look at patterns. Hey, this is my store in Vashi, and the feedback for this store is poor. This is my store in Kondapur in Hyderabad, and the feedback is good. We ensure that we operate at a store level. We operate at a hyper local level. So that's how we are ensuring that the same learnings from the past decade are being applied. Now, to make all of this happen, the biggest investment that we made is in technology, because there's a huge set of technology protocols engines running to run the offline business for the past decade. How do I ensure I'm leveraging that technology, creating the required plugins, and installing new technology, building new technology that is required to run JioMart? We are doing it across these three layers to ensure that the end experience to the consumer is completely protected.
So you said, technology integration is 50% of the job is done when technology is integrated. What is the other 50% of
Yeah.
delivering the customer experience, the
Yeah.
supply
So if
chain?
you're looking at customer experience, right, there is three elements around, right? One is what the customer sees on the website. That is the first touch point, right? The person comes in, looking at the app, what the person is looking at the app, that is one element. Second element is the delivery experience. So one is the app experience, the second is the delivery experience, right? Now I've looked at what I want, I've purchased. Am I getting it in the promised delivery timeline? And I'm getting it at the right quality, right? When I collect the package, is it in the right quality? Now, the third touch point is post-order experience. I have an issue with something. I've claimed a refund, or I want a return. I want another size or a different product, right? That is post-order experience. So these are the three customer touch points that anyone has. Now, the produce itself, what happens until the customer receives the product, right? I'm handling all of that with the 10-decade long experience. But these three elements are completely new for JioMart. So the other 50% is about how I'm able to take care of these three elements. Am I ensuring that the right product description is presented? My app is convenient for the customers to access and interact with and place orders. Is it a beautiful experience when they look at the app? Number two, once they place an order, am I doing the right delivery experience? If I say I'm going to deliver it in one day, I should be able to deliver it in one day. That becomes delivery experience. And the last is post order. If it's a store, Varun, I can walk in and say, hey, you've given me rotten tomatoes. I went home and I realized, or hey, I carried this packet, but it just has 2 more days left of expiry. I want to return it, right? I can walk into the store. Am I able to replicate the same online? Right. So 50% of my job was done because of a decade-long Reliance Retail offline experience. The other 50% is fixing these things, which are customer touch points of a e-commerce channel.
Coming to the final question, Sandeep, is to understand what are you doing to future-proof your customer service from potential disruption. Online space, it's not just providing the product and the value to the customer, but also delighting them in some way so that you become a preferred destination. So what are some of the initiatives that you're doing to future-proof JioMart as a platform and make it that preferred destination for online
Yeah.
shoppers?
I think I would say that we are trying to do this across two different approaches, Varun. Number one is nailing the basics. Nailing the basics is understanding the consumer, using our decade-long offline experience and my team's online experience, right? Me and a bunch of folks that are building JioMart bring a lot of e-commerce experience, right? Having operated e-commerce in India for the last 10 years. So nailing the basics is what is the minimum acceptable technology experience that we're giving on the app? What are the products that consumers are looking for? Am I ensuring that that selection is available? And once the order is placed, am I ensuring that the average industry benchmark is being met? Right? Average industry benchmark, for an example, if it's a grocery item, because we're not playing in hyper local, for a grocery item, the minimum expectation is 24 hours. Am I able to give it in D plus one? If I order my groceries today, am I able to deliver it next day? That's the industry benchmark for me. Similarly, if a customer is ordering a fashion or a general merchandise or an electronics item, am I able to deliver in 3 days? If it's a long tail selection of a small and medium business or a third party marketplace seller, then am I able to deliver it in 5 days? Because that is generally national. The person is manufacturing it somewhere in Surat or in Tirupur. The order may come from Kashmir or West Bengal and Kolkata. Am I able to deliver it in 3 to 5 days? So these are the industry benchmarks. These are the nail the basics for me. On top of it, what we are trying to do is we are ensuring that we are delighting the customers across a couple of areas, right? One simple thing is I've already spoken about app, so I will not go too much into it. But we are trying to develop and invest in chatbots. I'm not sure if you know, but Reliance or Jio platforms is also working very closely with a lot of other companies, right? Where we have investments, etc. So we are developing a chatbot, a bot where customers can come, they're able to interact and know the status of the order, right? A lot of self-help features where they can only use the mobile phone. They don't have to call anyone, they don't have to write emails, etc. That is customer delight. The same time, one of the things that we are trying to change, a lot of customers identify with Reliance and Jio because of the branding. They look at us as a brand that they can trust, something that they can believe in and interact with. How can I ensure that the same gets translated online also? So we are investing in a lot of machine learning and AI models, artificial intelligence, to ensure that the experience for customers as well as sellers is safe. Right, the transaction for both customers and sellers are safe. That's what we're doing. And at the same time, we're also ensuring that we are trying to improve the experience for customers post order. Right, one of the biggest trust busters, pain points, even e-commerce establishments that have been operating in India for almost 10-15 years now, the struggle still continues. Post order is the biggest long pole. So how do I ensure that that experience is seamless to customers? Again, we're investing in machine learning, AI, to tell us that, hey, this customer is trustworthy. He's not fraud. He's not claiming a refund just for the sake of it. He's given us 10 orders in the last 3 months, and it is only the first time he's making a return. So I give a signal to the associate to go ahead and approve the refund because the customer is not a fraud customer, it's a genuine customer. At the same time, hey, this is a customer, he's placed 5 orders, he's returned 4 of them, right? So you double click whether the customer's claim is genuine or not. These are things, right? Post order becomes a big investment area for us to be able to withstand the established benchmarks in the industry and also become the best in the industry at some point. These are the 3-4 areas where we are investing to stay ahead of the curve.
Thank you, Sandeep, for really sharing a bird's eye view of how you're building grocery retail in India, how you're looking at multiple points of providing the customer delight, and also cracking the basics first before you can scale and expand and take this experience to customers across the country. Thank you very much for joining us for Masters of CX. Wish you the best on your journey ahead.
I enjoyed my conversation, Varun. Really interesting questions, and I hope these insights are helpful to the overall program.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Chaya. Bye.